Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Proverbial Matters. That's Proverbial Matters. Please subscribe. If you want to see more inspirational, motivational, and encouraging videos like this, please like, share, and comment down below. And please do not forget to turn on your notifications. I want to talk about Oh my God. I want to talk about being a perfectionist. Most of you that struggle with some form of OCD behavior where you just obsessed with neatness, everything just have to be in order, everything just have to be right. You're afraid of making mistakes, you're afraid of things not basically going your way. Trust me, you have to come to terms with yourself on why you're being a perfectionist. Most times is what I figured out, and yes, I can be honest and transparent about what I'm talking about because I only discuss things on this channel that I have experienced or I have experienced from a second point of view or from secondhand experience. But today I had a whole episode with myself. I just got emotional. I was so emotional because I made a mistake. Now, the reason why I get emotional, especially when I feel like I should have done better in the moment, or I should have been aware about my approach, that's when I get emotional because I'm like, oh my God, like, what are these people going to think about me? You know, all this stuff go through my head whenever I just feel like I'm being beat up, not knowing that I beat my own self up because I'm being hard on myself because I'm just such a perfectionist. Now, earlier, I was crying. I had a whole moment. I felt that's the moment where you have to realize that, okay, please don't throw everything out of the door and don't run away from your issues just because you feel like people aren't going to accept you, without you ever being wrong, or I'm trying to say, don't be afraid of just making mistakes and don't be afraid of not being accepted by people, or don't be afraid of not receiving the validation. Don't be afraid of just saying that, okay, I messed up. I will try again better next time, or I would do better, from this day moving forward. Whatever brings you whatever brings you comfort in the moment that you feel like you're panicking, like you're being pressured, you just feel like your anxiety starts to act up, because I know most of us, we suffer with anxiety and we just came up out of like a depressive state, especially that. So we have to coach ourselves out of going backwards, because it's easy to go backwards whenever we just being negative, we being emotional, we thinking about the worst things possible, especially black people. Most times when the black child, and I'm going to talk about that too, most times when someone, especially the child in the family, makes a mistake, the whole family knows about your mistake. It can be you wasted 5 cookies out of a whole packet of 105 cookies. It can be something just so small, like, oh, she wasted water on the floor today and I had to fix her, or however your black parents say it. But I know that I, have like shame. I have shame around how people, have these discussions around your mistakes. And that's where most of my shame comes from, is from the black family. They scold you in the moment, and then they continue. They hold a whole, it can be a whole sermon. It can be the whole sermon on Sunday about what you did on Saturday. I mean, Wednesday night Bible study can be about something that you did on Monday. Your parents talking about it with your auntie in Houston, Texas. Your auntie in Houston, Texas now scolding you about something that you did last month. And then people just in your family, they constantly remind you about the mistake that you did on Saturday. Why do people do that? Why do people do that? Like, what do you get out of gossiping about people's mistakes, period? Why is that even a thing in black families? Why? Why do we feel like it is okay to shame people and not even talk about the shame that comes afterwards whenever we experience the mistake and being chastised, being punished? I mean, everything under the sun. And not knowing that as an adult, you still suffer with the same shame that you did as a child. And no one ever helped you to correct that behavior because they thought it was okay that you had to suffer from your mistakes. So I guess that's where most of my perfectionism comes from. And people don't like to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it because I have to parent myself. I can only depend on one person right now that I know I can call on that will give me some sound and wise advice. Yes, that's my auntie. I call her Aunt Bobby. But she's pretty much the only person that I know that I can call right now, and trust me, she gonna give me the rundown, but I can trust her because I know that she's wise and she has my best interest at heart. Thank you. But earlier whenever I had this little episode of being emotional, overthinking things, and I come to find out that this is all coming from not being validated as a child, that it is okay to make mistakes. And it's like stepping in a puddle of mud, or it's like stepping in mud with some white shoes. There we go. That's a good example. Common mistake for those that wear white shoes, especially if you're a kid, or especially if you're anybody. You don't have to be a kid to make something as a simple mistake like that. But, it just comes from not being validated and being told that it is okay to make mistakes as a child. All throughout my childhood, or all throughout my middle school years, I was always looking for the reward. I was always trying to strive for the best, especially in school. You know, it just feels better whenever you're being rewarded for something that you know that your parents is going to be proud of, which is making good grades. And I was always on the honor roll. I was always, getting trophies for like being the most outstanding student in mathematics, English. It was always English and math, English and math. I got all kind of trophies, rewards, ribbons for being on the honor roll, for doing excellent in this subject, and being the best student. And it just all come about. That just all came about whenever I'm trying to please others. And that's also another one of my childhood traumas, which is people pleasing. And the first people we like to please is our parents. Because we know that whenever we do something good, we want our parents to be proud of us. We want them to say, hey, you did a good job. Let's go get some ice cream. Or, hey, you did a good job. Here's $100. The money come in handy because, after you graduate high school, you're going to be needing that money to buy a car for college. But I wasn't thinking that far ahead with the money. But anyways, you know, first things first is knowing that my feelings stem around not being validated as a child, especially when you make a mistake. Secondly, feeling shame, and guilt for making a mistake, and people pleasing. So I'm not gonna blame it on being a Virgo rising, which I am a Virgo rising, and they are perfectionists. Everything just have to be perfect. And people actually do think that I have it all together. Like, I used to question that too. Like, why do people think that I have it all together? Am I supposed to be the one that has all the answers, that has all the money, that has all the shoes, that has all the clothes, that has everything together every time you see me? No, I do not have everything together. So that was like the image that people would approach me with, because that was their idea of how they wanted me to be, or that was their idea of me whenever they would meet me. Like, I'm just this perfect person. Like, I don't have shit that don't stink. Like, I know you have some of them friends, and it do be your friends that think that. A lot of people, they think that you just don't have nothing bad or sad going on in your life. So they take advantage of you in ways that, they have no idea what you're suffering with. And, it just bothers me that people used to think that way about me. And people probably do still think that way about me too, because I am a hard worker. I do give myself that. I am a hard worker. I work hard. Hard work is in my blood. So this is the life I was given. I'm just playing the cards that I was dealt with. Not everyone has the mindset that I have either. So it may be a plus for me that I'm able to think for myself, because I didn't have a mom to give me things that I needed. I didn't have a mom that I can go to and say, hey, let me borrow $20. Just asking for $5 and she don't have it. Try being in my shoes for the rest of your life and see how that goes. But I just wanted to touch on that because I was like, I am such a perfectionist. Like, why does everything have to be perfect? Why does everything have to be perfect? That's the question that you should ask yourself. Why does everything have to be perfect? So, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more videos like this. But yes, everything do not have to be perfect. Please don't beat yourself up over it. Try to encourage yourself. Try to motivate yourself. Don't run away from your problems. It is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to make mistakes. Everyone messes up, and ain't nobody perfect but God. Toodles.